Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, hello, Crime Stoppers. It's been a while. I wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed. You're not allowed to talk on the YouTubes. Okay, I consider this crap now. Just saying. Um, and this is I'm old enough to know the old formula, another formula, and this formula. This formula suck. You find out about this yourself. You find out about this. I don't smoke. Find out about this. Okay, but that's not what I'm here to talk about. And I'm almost not prepared because, well, almost not prepared. I am not prepared because I clicked the button just to see if it worked. Because there's times in the past where it looked like I could go live, but I was not allowed to go live. So I don't even have a shirt on, and I don't have my props. I must get my props. All right, here's some props. Maybe I'll even put a shirt on. It is, in fact, the vernal equinox. Tonight and today should be the same length, thereabouts. And last night and today should be the same or thereabouts. Very close to it. Look at me putting on a shirt, even. Okay. But no pants. No, just kidding. Okay. CDs. I just found, oh my goodness. Anyway, CDs. There was a time. Uh-oh. Oh, I put them in the other bucket. Because I've been going around and proselytizing, not about Jesus, but about silver. That's 1 ounce. This was actually given to me by the guy who made the coin, the guy from the mint, and I can't remember, Von Haas, I believe was his name. They actually tried to throw him in jail because they said, oh, you're counterfeiting. Does this and this look anything alike? Do they? And in fact, this has gone up in value. In fact, when I got this, he was handing me this. He was being nice, and he was doing some promotion, and he figured it cost $5 to, right? And I did. I went around and talked to people, and we were in Idaho at the time, and told them about this. And see, and if you look on this side, not that one. Oh, no, it is that one. If you look on this side, I don't know if you can read that. Anyway, the idea is that when he gave me this was worth this. Now, I have to look at a minute. Last I checked, we are now at $44.33. That's $44.33. So you need 4 of these to buy one of these. In fact, you need more than 44 because this is now a collector's item and you can't get it for spot. Anybody that sells you one of these for spot, buy it if they will. Okay, now here we go. This right here is only 90%. And it used to be one of these and one of these were saying, in fact, you could go, and these were blue and it said United States of America. It didn't say Federal Reserve note. And I have someplace. I could show you the difference, but I'm sure you've seen it. Everybody here, I'm preaching to the choir. So anyway, the idea is that now you need still, even though this is only 90% silver, not 39 or 49 silver, you need 44 of these to get one of these because there's premiums and there's shipping and there's all kind of stuff. Maybe you can walk into a coin shop and sell it to you direct for 220s. And hey, Pookie, yes. It's the 22nd. And right now, you can buy silver for 220s and oh, no, you can't. Because you need 220s and 4 of these. So it's not 22, it's 24. But anyway, you need 220s and 4 of these guys to get one of these guys. How much longer is it before you need 100 of these guys to get one of these guys? Not long. Okay, this, and they're not, okay, if you can get 2025 Silver Eagles, or these walking liberties, get them. Because they didn't print hardly, or they didn't make hardly any of these. Anyhow, this is a 1997. You didn't even need one of these. If you bought this with this, you would have got change. And then there was a little while when I finally, because silver was going to the moon back in 2001, I believe it was. Or maybe it was 24 years ago. Yeah, because that was September 11. Okay. So, yeah, 24 years ago. Nope, still not 24 years ago. Let's go with 22 years ago. Nope, we'll give it a little more. Yeah, right around 21 years ago. Okay. I started going, you mean I can get 10 of these for $50 shipped to my door? And I didn't even know the whole story. I didn't know anything about it, but I was just thinking, well, God, these are kind of cool. I think I'll take 10 for $50. Okay. And then I started doing some research, and this was back when, I'm honest to God, I just thought, oh, these are cool, right? I would like to have some because they're cool looking, not because they're valuable. And that one day the silver, see, and look, I'm holding one. And these aren't even the same, but this is a coin that I had to get. And did I pay $5 for this? I did not pay $5 for this Dogecoin. I probably paid 20, yeah, right around $20. I had to go look. But it's already doubled in value. Okay, so when I bought this, I was thinking, yes, it was going to go up in value. When I bought this, I just thought it was cool because it was a cool looking coin. All right, the time of it just being a cool looking coin is past, and many of your friends and family are going to be troubled by the time that comes. Because if they don't have any of these, and the average person still hasn't figured it out, they're going to need, and by the way, again, when this is $600 or $1,000, you're going to need $50 of this or 50 of these for like a pound of hamburger. Okay, and there's going to be plenty of hamburger. Just like I can walk in the Costco and there's tons of steaks. It's $100 for a rack that I used to pay $20 for. But there's plenty of them, is what I'm saying. It's like we're not out of meat. But the peasants can't afford it. And I want to go talk to the butcher shop guys and ask them, are you guys still selling about the same amount, or have you sold less, or do you not sell it? And then what happens? Do you take it home? Do you give it to a homeless shelter? Because there are times when I'm in there and it sure seems like there's a lot of meat sitting around unsold. But then again, you come back the next day and everything's new. So maybe they sold all of it after all. I don't know. But again, if you go into a store or if you go into Costco and there isn't any meat, that's when you know things have gone far, far awry. Because I look at many different websites and guys that have gone through hyperinflations, and the first thing to go is meat. People think it's this or that. It turns out the first thing to go is meat. So anyway, there's plenty of meat, is the point. You just have to pay lots for it. Now, here's the thing, right? I'm complaining. $100. It doesn't cost me $100. It costs me 100 FRNs. It costs me some currency, because if I were to pay this at the current rate, it's like 2.5. Think about it. Oh, wait. Let's look again. We'll look at the price. The price is now, a minute ago, it was $44.33. Now it is $44.38 in the time that I've been talking. Silver has gone up a nickel. Okay, so these are the days. The days are here. The days that were predicted are here. Are you prepared? Because all I can say is, fuck me, I should have went and bought a whole bunch more of these at $50 for 10. Because now it's $50 for one. Like I should have bought piles of these. I should have sold my fucking Corvette and dug a hole in the ground and then bought all the silver that I could with the money from that Corvette and buried it someplace on Maui, and then eventually go back and get it. But nope, that's not what I did. I didn't do that. And at the time, I was the woman who thought that we shouldn't be buying silver. Starbucks just opened. We should go get Starbucks. So back in the day, it was a choice between a fucking cup of coffee and one of these. And some dumb nigga so dumb that they couldn't figure out that you'd rather have this than a cup of coffee. But think about it, people who watch this. Those racks of steaks are 2.5 of these. I can't buy. They won't. If I walk in the Costco with these and try to hand them across the counter, they'll look at me like I'm insane because we live in a currency-based system that's based on debt, and this is not debt. And it seems that most people don't understand what comes because everybody's pretty fucking calm, if you ask me. I look around. Everybody's just, I got to go work today. It's Monday. Oh, it's the vernal equinox. Oh, it's the 22nd. Oh, look, it's going to be Christmas soon. I go into Costco now, and it's Halloween and Christmas. All at once. Okay, we'll skip that. And I'm only going to, because I'm going to keep this one short. I got things to do today, unfortunately. Can't just sit here and blab for 3 hours. If you want to hear me blab for 3 hours, just because. Oh, wait a second. Am I live? Because it says something went wrong. Am I? Oh, it's the chat. The chat isn't working. They're not letting you guys type stuff, is what's happened. Okay. So I pretty much got my privileges back, but not all of them. And they are privileges. Now, here's the thing. All the guys that I know, Mansa and who else? Brandon Joe Williams and I can't name all the names. You know the names, all the different peoples. Yusuf L and the secured party creditor crew and all them guys. How come nobody's suing YouTube? I got guys out of jail. All right. Why don't you take YouTube and see what you can do about the fact that, okay, because I got other things on my agenda, but if things don't happen, actually, I'm not even going to go there, but the idea is there should be somebody who has sat there and learned the law well enough that the YouTubes can feel the heat of the common law. But nope, they are well insulated in the debt-based currency system. But it seems to me that somebody should be able to make some headway in one of their courts. Here's fun. My sons have one a 4-star passport, the other a 5-star passport. The one with the 5-star passport has now, I don't know, what are we up to? $20,000 in fines removed. A $600 fee where they stole a friend of his car, basically. And then you have to give us $600 or we're not giving it back. So they transferred the title into the 5-star passport holder's name and whoosh, it all went away. Okay, but you got to know what you're doing. You got to know how to write letters. You got to know who to say. You got to know what to say, who to say it to. The boy is just turned 19. So don't tell me you can't figure this stuff out. This is a 19-year-old boy, and he still has much to learn. And many of the times that he calls his dad, he's disheartened with the information that he's discovering. See, it made me mad. It makes him sad when he started figuring out the bonding and the prison bonding and so forth. And when you walk in the court, it's a performance bond because he's looking at it and he's looking at the understanding that he will never pay another bill with labor. And he's only been around for 19 years. I've been around forever. That money the money in it's billions now. I'm literally a billionaire if I could claim all of the bonds and stuff that's been traded on my allegiance's name over the last 40 years. Most of those bonds are even mature. Seen a lot of guys in the movement, if you can call it that, most disorganized movement in the history of movements. But a lot of guys in the movement have figured out, wait a minute, yeah, if they kill me and my heirs don't know how to collect the bonds, I'm worth a whole lot more dead than alive, because they'll kill me and then my heirs will sit around with their thumbs up their asses, ignorant, talking about how free and brave they are, and never claim my bonds. Oops, I remedied that. Because all my bonds are mature. They were sitting there, and you can look them up. You got a social security number, you can look up the bonds that they wrote when you were born. And you can, if you know what number is on the birth certificate and so forth, you can look up those bonds. I have looked up those bonds. I have taken screenshots of those bonds, because sure enough, and I should have took way more screenshots when it came to the GMEI utility that no longer exists. But pages and pages and pages, thousands of results returned. And what were they doing? They were buying bonds with my name on it, because I'm a dumbass. And I paid all kind of shit with my labor. And they're like, this nigga good for it. And so they wrote bonds. And then, show up in court. I always showed up in court. So you tell me. Let's see, I have a friend, hates to hear me talk like this. Hates it. I am the last of the slaves in this line. My sons were born into slavery because their mother is an idiot. However, my one son, my youngest son, because we were wrangling and fighting for months at a time, his birthday, the day that he was born, is this year. But the day they made, 19 years ago, but the day that they made the allegiance is more than a year later. It's not even the same day, well, not a year. It's they did it within the year, because the midwife was getting, I'm going to get in trouble. Anyway, so they made the birth certificate, and that allegiance was created in a different calendar year. You cannot say they are the same person. Mine was created, most of ours were created within 5 days. Mine was created within 5 days. But his, the last thing in the date, the year, is not the same. They're two different, they're separated by a year. So can't be the same person, can it? Unless you're a complete, incompetent, idiot fool. And that incompetence and idiocy is where you think your qualified immunity is going to protect you. Anyway, the world's changing, my friends, and now we have AI. And there's AI. I was just fooling around with AI, and it lied to me, and then it lied to me some more. My sons have figured out when it's lying to you. It'll lie to you about this stuff. It'll lie to you about silver biology. It'll lie to you about, Israel. It'll lie to you about, name it. It'll lie to you. And if you try to, it'll lie to you about the Talmud. It'll lie to you about the Bible. What do it say in those books? You should probably read it for yourself instead of let somebody tell you what's in those books. But anyway, I'm off the track. This one was about XRP and silver. The idea is not very long from now. Okay, and this is the other thing. Let's go back in time. When my mother met my father and he took her to dinner in Chicago, I found the receipt, is why I know this, because she kept it. Because my mom was that kind of person. I found stuff in her stuff that I was amazed. Like all the stuff from when I was a baby, she had it all. Anyway. And it's amazing too, because like there was one stuffed animal. I did not remember that stuffed animal. But then when she died, I was going to, and I go, somewhere in, this is mine. It's my stuffed animal. She kept it. But I hadn't seen it since I was a baby, or maybe, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4. But anyway, the idea is that when they went to dinner, my dad paid 2.5, maybe 3 of these. And they had dinner for 2. I don't remember what they had. A bottle of wine. 2.5 of these. In a nice steakhouse in Chicago. This is way back when. And they paid real money, because back in 1964, we hadn't. Right? And this is back before they had done the thing in public in Dallas. So anyway, this was still money in this country. All right, the idea is that that those days are returning. Okay, let's skip gears or shift gears. Let's skip. Let's go from second to fifth. XRP. I spent a lot of time. I've heard all kind of stuff. It's a scam. It's a psyop. It's a this. It's a that. It's a okay. Nope. I'm seeing that they're actually using it, and Jim Willie will explain it to you better than I can. But there's trillions of dollars that are going to flood into some stable coins, whether we like it or not, whether Catherine Austin Fitts likes it or not, whether you try to use cash as much as possible, and I do. Doesn't matter. They're going to go into stable coins. Clearly, the Genius Act. Clearly, listen to Donald Trump and what comes out of his mouth. So whether we like it or not, like everything else, okay, you're going to have some stable coins. And them stable coins are going to go from where they are now at $3 to where Bitcoin is now. Not all of them, but some of them. And there's like 7 stable coins, and I have to sit down and memorize the 7. But it's like XRP, XLM, HBAR, Ethereum, Bitcoin. See, 2 more, and I can't remember them at the moment under the stress of the camera. But after looking carefully at all 7, and I like HBAR the best, but just based on the mathematics. But based on liquidity and the pools of money and the technology, it looks like XRP is going to be leading the pack. So sometimes if you can't beat them, join them. So I'm going to do the same thing that one guy did a long, long time ago. And the idea was just buy one. I'm not telling you to remove your assets. I'm not telling you to close bank account. I'm just get one XRP and forget about it. Maybe buy 1 or 2 for your grandbabies. All right. Educate self, educate others. And again, don't do any fucking thing without doing a bunch of reading and research. Right? You want to look carefully, because all the analysis about HBAR could be wrong, and it could be super early, because I was way too early on silver. I could have used that money for a bunch of other stuff and expecting silver to go up. I kept buying silver when I should have probably bought some Bitcoin way back in the day. All my friends that bought Bitcoin, you gotta know how to get in touch with them, because you can't get with they ain't got no Facebook pages. They don't have an Instagram account. If you don't know their phone number, you don't know how to get in touch with them. If you don't have their email from when we were kids, or however long ago that was. We weren't kids when there was email, but you know what I mean? Back in the day, they had email addresses in the 90s. Some of those email addresses are 30 years old. I wanted to have the same email address, but somebody else got it because I wasn't willing to pay Maui Net their ridiculous fee, like $30 a month, just to keep a 3-letter email address. I had bhr@maui.net. That was my email address for the longest time, but I gave it up and somebody else has it now because I wasn't willing to pay $360 a year or whatever it was. And it might have actually been more than that to keep that email address. But the idea being is that I still have email addresses from guys that bought Bitcoin, and now if I wanted to get in touch with them, I could. I'm pretty sure. And actually, I got an email from out of the blue. You ever get one of those where it's like, Mer? And I think they sent me that email just so I'd have their email address, right? Because when you send it, you can, or when you're going to get the reciprocal. But the idea is these people went and took the advice of one. Well, actually, more than one, because I remember when the one guy in particular, I remember when he popped out his first Bitcoin way back in the day, and he was using this little computer. Anyway, he just basically, it was a super small little box that he built himself that had a motherboard in there with a processor, and he set it to solving the and anyway, it popped out his first Bitcoin, and we had a little celebration. And then I remember the 100 Bitcoin party. And then I don't think we had any more after that. But anyway, that guy, what's 100 Bitcoin worth today? And that was his first 100, not his only 100. Okay. And there's plenty of guys like that. I'm not one of them. But the idea is you may have a second chance with XRP. So I wouldn't take your entire life savings. I wouldn't move money out of silver. I wouldn't sell your gold. I wouldn't, if you have any platinum, I wouldn't trade platinum for XRP. But I would get some XRP and maybe some of those other stable coins, and not a lot of them. Just put them on the side and forget about it. The way I can stick this some and not even think about it. I'm not looking at the price thinking, oh, I'm going to sell it when it gets to 50, or I'm going to sell it when it gets to 55, or I'm going to sell it when it gets to 100. Just forget about it. Get your one XRP. You got grandbabies, buy one XRP for each grandbaby. Currently, let's take a look. I bought a bunch of XRP at like $2.99. It is currently $2.89. So I have lost 10 cents, and I'm not even concerned because I don't need the money tomorrow. And a lot of times what these guys do, and I've seen them do it 100 times, XRP, any stock, any penny stock, any coin, anything, what they try to do is shake you out. There's a bunch of people that were all nervous because they bought silver at 33 and then it went back down into the 20s. Oh no. And now it's 40. Ooh, let's look. Has it gone up more since we talked? Because last I checked, it was 44.38. Maybe they'll push it down. Nope, it's gone up a penny. Okay, I expect that they may drive the price down, but they're only going to get away with that for a very little while. And the big news was the big news was the fact that LV had shares to go short with. They don't loan shares for silver anymore to go short with. So the big boys. Now, here's the thing: if you guys know, maybe you could put comments underneath. Are there more? Are there more sources where they can get their SLV shares? Or not SLV shares, but any shares where they can go short? Or is that their only one? Because it seems to me that if they can't go short, they can't play their game. And if they can't play their game, the price of silver is going to just continue going. Because what do they usually do? They usually, from 5 to 15, they sold a bunch of this. They didn't have this. And then they'd go short and cover, pocket the difference. And then we went 15 to 25, and they were shorting all the way. For years, they were getting away with this, where the price would go up, they short into it, slam the price down. But they can't do, and they did it from 25 to 35. They got it back, or 33 or thereabouts. They got it down into the 20, and now we're in the 40s, and they don't have any more shares to go short. And there seems to be extreme, where I'm hearing things like, oh, if you are a guy like me, or a bank, or a speculator, or whatever, you're going to settle in paper, whether you like it or not. If you are industrial, like Elon Musk, or a solar manufacturer, or electrical manufacturer, or computer manufacturer, they'll settle in silver, because those guys can't do their business without silver. The guys that were speculating were just in there for the paper anyway, right? So turn around and speculate some more. But when I heard that, I was like, uh-oh, they may be running out of silver. And then I heard, oh, they don't have the shares to go short with anymore from SLV. So now I need to do more research. I haven't done it yet. Is there other places they can borrow shares? Or is there other places where they can pretend they have silver and sell it into the market? Because I know SLV was their primary source, but it wasn't their only source. But the idea is getting harder and harder for them to play their game and rig the market. So take advantage. So the two things, the takeaways from this hundreds monkey extravaganza, where they wanted to out me to speak again: silver, XRP. All right, crime stuffers, educate yourselves, because this is generational. If you plan on making it through what comes in the future, you're going to need some wealth, and this will preserve it. And for a little while, the XRP and cryptos are going to be a thing, but I don't think they're going to be a thing forever. In fact, I'm taking a look at some other technology, the quantum computing, and some of the chips that they're building that can do insane things. I think they're going to crack the encryption even of Bitcoin eventually. Because what used to take millennia now takes weeks. Look at the computing power. Take a look at some of the, and these things, they exist. It's no longer on paper. It's no longer science fiction from Isaac Asimov. It's these chips. Okay, and now the chips are connected to AI, and some of that AI has almost all the knowledge. And it's interesting because I was listening to these guys talk, and it was across borders. They were talking between the United States and I think it was Mexico or Spain. I can't remember. But the AI that they were talking about was trained in English. So they were telling you how to use the AI because it hadn't been translated everything into Spanish. So if you ask questions in Spanish, you might not get the answers that you would get if you could get them in English. And then the whole thing about, ask them in English, because the AI doesn't understand Spanish quite yet. But that's coming. Soon you will have droids that know all the languages. We're not far from there. And this is the other thing. Robots, yes, they're coming. The robots are coming. The robots are coming. And because the robots are coming, get yourself one XRP and then as much silver as you can reasonably afford. Because there's gonna be a day when you wish you could have bought, like I did, like I should have sold my bet and bought as many of these as I could at 5, is the way you're gonna feel about, you should have sold something and bought as many as you could at 40 or 44 and 39 cents, or where we're at. At this rate of change, we're gonna bust through 50 very shortly. All these people, 50 by the end of the year. The end of the year is this far away, because here's how it works. It's Halloween, which is coming up in but 9 days. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's gonna go like this. And then the year's over. In that amount of time, silver will have gone from where it is now to 50. I'm very, very confident, and more. Because 50 is now $6 away. And if it's moving at $1 a day, we could hit 50 by November. We could be over and close to, 75 by Thanksgiving and 100 by Christmas. I mean, just figure $1 a day. Now, I don't think they're going to get $1 a day, because it's not going to. Recently, we have had just, let's go the other way. This way, right? It's just done this, basically. Yo-yo on a staircase, but mostly it's been this, and no big dips. It's just gone. All right. So if it keeps on this current trajectory, and it keeps doing $1 a day, we'll just calculate approximately how many days between now and the end of the year. Let's ask the question and see. How many days left in the year? Does AI understand this? Starting today on Monday, September 22nd, we have 100 days are currently remaining. So silver could easily get over 100 if it did $1 a day on average. It probably won't do $1 a day on average, but the idea is we've got 100 days left in this year. That's crazy. 265 days have already gone by. And in the next 100 days, we are going to see humongoloid changes. And in fact, I think you'll see humongoloid changes just in XRP in the next 100 days. But for sure, you're going to see some big changes in this. And then next year, it's off to the races. 2026 is going to be, I don't even know what's going to happen in 2026, but it doesn't all look good. And this guy named Martin Armstrong predicts 100% chance nuclear war using his mathematics and AI, which, he built AI before we called it AI. And his AI so far has not been wrong, because he knows how to put the data in and ask the right questions. But the questions that he's asked so far, his device, his machine, his program, Socrates, has never missed. And there's been times when he didn't like the results and he tried to change the results. But it's like there's all kind of stories about prophecies in the ancient days where the more you try to avoid the prophecy, the more the prophecy comes to pass. And he seems to be in that mode where, and he's like Cassandra, where, again, 100% chance of nuclear war. You guys aren't scrambling to get iodine. You guys aren't scrambling to maybe secure some foodstuffs. Get the 25-year kind. I've talked about this many times. So if we're wrong, and hopefully they're wrong and there's no nuclear war, then you just eat the food. But if there is nuclear war, you may have difficulty getting any food, whether you have this or not. So maybe you want to put some food aside, because he says 100% chance of nuclear war. And everybody's like, well, I got to go to work tomorrow. Okay. So I'm telling you, silver, XRP, and get prepared. That's it. Longer than I expect. Here on YouTube's, on Facebook, if it's long, if it's on Instagram, it's long. Well, you can't even hardly make long stuff. And on TikTok, I actually pretty much quit TikTok because I can't teach calculus in 10-minute bits. You can, but you can't. You can't teach. Even elementary mathematics is difficult to get the concepts in just 10 minutes. Although I do like the platform and I like the technology and everything, and being able to start and stop video quickly. Like, that would be great if you could pause this instead of just has to be one long stream. But, you know, I could pause this and go get some stuff, or I could pause and then come back. But nope, you have to edit, and I'm way too lazy for that. So the idea is that big changes coming. Educate yourself, which is the whole point, and then educate others. This is one where if they don't get educated and they don't act, they're gonna have a really, really bad time. Many of my friends, and I can actually use that word now, many, who laughed at me. Oh, we're in our mouth. Oh, you're such a conspiracy theorist. You don't respect our computer, and you don't respect, and you're gonna kill grandma, and you're gonna put the fucking mask on, and God damn it, Ben, why the fuck are you such a conspiracy theorist? Are dead now. Dead. And I don't even get to say I told you so. It seems to me the punishment doesn't fit the crime, because they're just dumbasses. But now they're dead dumbasses. And their families still can't admit, because most of them are shot up too. So they're not even trying to demand justice. What am I talking about? Well, if I talk too much about it, they shut me down. So I'm going to stop talking. As many as you can afford. And with XRP, just get one. Take it easy, Crime Stoppers. E pluribus unum. Educate self, educate others.